That's my best impression of the wonderful movie Twisters. Welcome to my non-spoiler thoughts, ideas, gripes, likes, dislikes. So, if you guys don't know, Twisters is a very old throwback film. We're talking this movie came out in 1996. I actually remember seeing the original in the movie theaters with Father Zod. This was one of the films that I thought was okay. This was back during a time where they did a lot of these disaster movies. You don't see very many of them these days. So when they said they were making a brand new Twisters, my first thought was A, who really asked for this, and B, how would it work? Because pretty much Twisters was, you could do a sequel, but it wasn't something that screamed there could be more of them. So what is this new Twisters about? Well, first off, let me start with my normal breakdown. It's directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who debuted at the Cannes Festival. It's starring Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell, who has done Spy Kids 3D and Fast Food Nation and Scream Queens in 2015. So, I mean, not a lot of big names in this movie. So, what is the premise of Twisters? Twisters is what you expect it to be. It is it's a sequel following the new Storm Generator. So if you didn't see Twister 1, basically this movie has no plot. You don't go to a movie like this for a fucking plot. But the general gist of the movie is that this is the daughter. Hey, what's up, Christine? Good to see you. So what is the plot of this movie? Basically, this movie picks up with another generation of storm chasers. It's implied that the girl in this is the daughter of Bill Paxton's character from the first movie. Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt were in the first movie. If you've never seen it, I don't know why. It's a fucking amazing film. So basically, they're a new generation of tornado hunters, but the girl in this, who is played by Daisy Edgar Jones, Kate Carter, is a meteorologist and former storm chaser. After some events happen, she decides to give it up, and then she discovers a way to actually stop tornadoes after they've formed. And that's a decent enough premise for this movie. So, I always have hated when people do movie reviews and they say, oh, this movie is great, it's big, dumb fun, or it's a big blockbuster. So we have to excuse the flaws in the movie because, oh, it's just a movie that's made for you to be dumb and not have any story or anything like that. Now, with that being said, there are certain movies that I admittedly concede this to. Stuff like Fast and Furious and things like this. Very paper thin sort of narrative, very paper thin plot. You're mostly here for this movie to see shit blow up. Now, there's a couple point deductions. One point deduction is I did not see a fucking cow floating by. If you guys have watched the original Twisters, you get the joke. There's a hilarious scene where a dude gets hit by a billboard sign and there's a cow that rolls around. Not in this movie. However, there is a lot of cool shit in this movie. Now, this is non-spoilers, but I will say what they do with the Twisters is actually very entertaining. There's a couple of cool scenes, a couple of things that I think are technically they could do. They give you the science bullshit in this movie, so I don't know what's real and what's fake. I don't know who's the meteorologist and could tell me the fucking details, but there is a really cool scene involving fire and the tornado. Like I said, no spoilers in here, but you guys can kind of guess. They fucking showed it in the preview, but it like makes a fiery tornado thing. It was pretty fucking cool. But other than that, the acting is serviceable. Nobody's really going to wow you in this movie. They're not going for high caliber acting in here. I got to say, Glenn Powell, who plays the cowboy guy in this, appropriately, I have my hat. He's got some cheesy lines. And I don't think without his look, anybody else could have pulled it off. So good job, Glenn Powell. I really enjoyed. He had like the cheesiest lines. He reminded me a lot of Bill Paxton in the original Twisters because Bill Paxton was given a terrible script, but him and Helen Hunt made it work. And the actors make this work. They got terrible lines because you're not expecting good lines in this movie. They've got a shitty, flimsy backstory, but it works. I was emotionally invested in all of the characters, and it was fun. You know, it was turn your brain off, watch Tornado rip shit apart, and then, you know, go about your day. There's nothing really oddly for me to complain about. The movie did what it was designed to do. So with that being said, my flaws are I don't like some of the camera work. They do shaky cam where they're doing chases. I fucking hate shaky cam. It makes me very nauseous. And the character dialogue at times is horrendously bad. But that's if I'm judging fairly. Like, there is some really fucking stupid lines in this movie. But other than that, it's a fun movie. I had a good time. I think it's the most inoffensive thing you can watch. If you haven't seen Long Legs, this is probably a good substitute, or go see Long Legs because that's more elevated, at least to me. But on the whole, this was a good movie. I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I think it's definitely above average as far as enjoyment goes. It's very much, I enjoyed it on that fun level, but I don't think it's going to knock your socks off. It doesn't do anything new. Like, if it very much abandons its premise at the later half of the movie. The whole turning off the storm thing does come into play, but it's later as expected. I wish they would have dove into the science more. It was kind of like, we have this MacGuffin, we got to get it to the tornado, and it'll shut down the tornado. I don't even know if that's fucking possible to do, but it was intriguing. Hey, stupid stuff, welcome. But anyways, I like this movie. It's made $200 million for a reason. I think if you're into stuff being wrecked and you want a good, non-inoffensive time, kind of shut your brain off, watch a tornado go through and just destroy shit and people being stupid enough to fucking follow it and camera it, then this is a great movie. Like, the only thing is I miss Bill Paxton, and it makes me think of Twisters 1. But if you've never seen Twisters 1, this is a good segue. It has a very loose connection to the first movie, but it's pretty much its own thing, and I respect that. They took the franchise and they did something unique with it, and I never thought I'd be saying that for fucking Twisters, which is the most ambiguous movie to adapt as a sequel. I didn't think you could do it, but this guy did it. Kudos to Lee Isaac Chung. He did a great job. The visuals are great. The tornado action is spectacular. The acting is serviceable. I give it a 7 out of 10. Go check this one out. It's non-offensive fun, and get a couple of drinks. It's really fun. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. I'm back. I've been off for a little bit because I've been sick, and I've had a good friend of mine over from New York, so I had to take some time off of this. But now I'm going to be hitting it hard. I got a lot of reviews coming out. I will have the new Star Wars review up. I'm going to be doing a full season review for the boys, and I'll be doing Cobra Kai episodes 1 through 5 of the new season, break down the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this Wednesday, don't miss our Star Wars tier list. Part 2 is the best Siths, or best villains of Star Wars. So join us Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the Phantom Zone: kneel before General Zod.